What's up, game boys and girls? Big T here, back with another video. And man, this game keycard thing just won't go away. And it's partially because of just lies being told. So let's get into it. Alright, so we all know game keycards. Most people don't like them. Some people are fine with them. And again, initially I was fine with them until I realized, or I came to realize, that they were going to be the vast majority of third-party games on the Switch 2. I thought, certain games at a certain size wouldn't be able to fit on a Switch 2 card. This is before we knew anything about the size limits or what sizes they were going to be. I always thought that, and this was the solution. I was like, okay, good solution for a problem that could be potentially lock Nintendo fans out from certain big third-party games. Great solution. But it turned out to not be a great solution. It's a solution, but not a great one. So the situation is that there's only 64 gigabytes size cards. And because of that, they're very expensive. They cost from anywhere between $15 and $20 per game, per cartridge to put out. And so the other solution would be to raise the price of the Switch 2 game, which I'm in favor of, because it's a tax based on the hardware. That this is nothing new. Back in the day, ROM cartridges, depending on what ROM cartridge you got, what Super Nintendo game you got, Sega Saturn, Sega Genesis game you got, certain games cost more because there was more hardware actually on the card itself, right? It needed more. It needed more RAM or ROM for the game to work. You have the FX chip. Those games were more expensive, but Nintendo themselves didn't charge more because they said, we're going to eat the cost because this is something we're putting out there. The consumer shouldn't eat the cost. And I thought that was the same thing when it came to the Switch 2 cards. They're like, well, this is what we're putting out, so we'll eat the cost of that, although they seem to be making money in other different ways with overpriced DLC and overpriced Switch 1 ports or upgrades. So maybe that's their way of re-upping from the losses they're incurring from putting out games on the 64 gigabyte cards. Maybe that's their thing. But third parties do not have that option. They can't just say, we're going to eat this cost, because that's going to eat into their profits. So I completely sided with them. Until this certain situation, I completely sided with them and said, hey, this is Nintendo's fault, Nintendo's problem. Nintendo made the Switch 2 a certain way. And so because of that, third-party companies will have to, shouldn't have to eat the costs of Nintendo's decisions. And so I understood the fact that they wanted to do that to circumvent the costs. Got it. No problem with that. But Ubisoft and a particular game that just came out on Switch 2, Star Wars Outlaws, is giving, excuses to certain developers, and they think you're stupid. And some fans I've seen are buying it. But many like me are not. And I have hardcore, strong evidence to suggest that this is all nonsense. All right. So the excuse now is that, the cards are not fast enough. And that includes Switch 2 cards are not fast enough. No matter what the size is, 64 gigabyte cards are just not fast enough to run these amazing games off of, right? And that's the excuse. So we have to put them on key cards, which is, for lack of a better term, complete bullshit. Because why? Why do I say that? Well, we've known for a long time that the mediums for these consoles, the optical drives for these consoles, the ones that use them, is just too slow. You can't run a game off a disc like you used to do back even in the 360 days. You can't run games off of discs because the You know, the memory speed is not fast enough to load these games and load these big worlds just running them off a disk, because the drives just can't do it. And we've known that for quite some time. Because if I may interject, a game like this is a PlayStation 4 game, obviously, also on PS5, Horizon Zero Dawn. Can I run this off of the disc if I put this in the disc drive for my PS4? No, obviously not. You are required to download the game regardless of you have a physical copy or not. But this is a physical copy. The entire game is on here. But I still have to download it to play it, because I know, and you know, that the medium itself, the disc medium, is not fast enough. The disc drives are not fast enough to run this game off of a disc. So we have to download this game to a cart, or to a hard drive regardless. So what the hell are we talking about here? Why isn't that the same when it comes to a Nintendo Switch 2 cart? Why can't I just be required to download the game onto my my hard drive, my internal storage, and play it off of that? Because I'm gonna have to do that regardless. If I get a key card, right? I'm still gonna have to have space on my hard drive to run the game. Here is another game, a massive game, by the way, massive. It's a massive game regardless, but I don't know if people know. I think the space limit for Xbox Series games is 25 gigs per disc. I could be wrong. I think at the most it's 50, and so you have to have multiple discs. There are 4 discs to this game. Baldur's Gate 3. That's one there, and then there's 2 actually here, and then there's 2, and you have to install them, like, you know, old school PC stuff back in the day. Installation discs, right? But the entire game is on these discs, right? Now, obviously, this game is super massive, and I wouldn't expect them to have this on a card, right? Because it's, first of all, let's say for Switch 2, it's just not going to fit on a card, right? So this is a game I would accept the excuse of a key card, right? It makes sense because it's huge, big game, right? But there are many games, I would say 70% to 80% of games that come out could fit on a Switch 2 key card, you know, with compression and whatnot. Obviously, the game is not going to be as graphically necessary on the Switch 2 as it is on the other systems, so therefore it should be smaller in size. It may not have all this certain crazy audio stuff going on, files and whatnot, raw audio files, whatever it takes to bring these game sizes down, they can do, right? For certain games, not for every game. Some games you're going to want all of that, you know, so I get it. But again, I can download this game from the disc. The entire game is on the disc. I don't have to go to a server to do so. And so, like I said, Star Wars Outlaws, it's a little different. There isn't any multiple discs in here. The game is not running off of the hard drive. I think there's 2 discs, for the Xbox. Yeah, there's 2 discs. This is disc 2 here. Disc 1 is actually in my Xbox right now. So, 50 to 100 gigs or so are on space you have. And again, the game is not running off of the disc. It has to run off the hard drive. So this idea of, we can't put these games fully onto a card is because you can't run it off. We've known that for 2 console generations now, that disk drives are not fast enough to run these games. This is not a new revelation. Yet some of these fans are just eating this up, and some of these developers just think you're stupid, that you don't already know that. Nobody is running games off of the cart medium or the disc medium. So that excuse makes no goddamn sense. It makes no sense. It's not a revelation. regardless of what you're doing. I know there's some ray tracing, and like I said, this is my first and last game key card. And one of the big reasons that I got a huge discount on this game. I got it for $44, I think, before taxes. $44 I got this game for. And I like the idea of being able to continue it because it has cross saves, so I can play this game on my Xbox when I get home, and I can play it on the go on my Switch too. And the game ran really good. It was a really good port. So these are the factors that made me feel a lot better about it. And again, I have a physical copy of the game, but this physical copy is kind of bogus because you still need to download from a server. And I think it's not just because of limitations of the Xbox disc. I think that's the same. I did some research for the PS5 one, which there is enough space on a PS5 disc to put the whole game. Or if you have to put 2 discs for PS5, put the whole game. Again, there are consoles going back to the PS1 that had multi-discs, and you can go back to PC games that have multi-discs. This was not a problem. All of a sudden, this is a problem. They think you're stupid. I'm not, and it's about ownership. And I think I saw Dr. 81's video recently talking about, well, if Nintendo just guarantees that you'll have access to these games, a lot of this will go away. No, it won't go away. That's not the issue here. The issue is ownership. People want to own their games. Not everybody. A lot of people don't care. But Nintendo fans specifically, because we've had this for so long, and we have a console that has a cartridge slot, and we thought, based on Switch 1 also, and now going to Switch 2, we thought, okay, we're going to have our games on a cart. We understand. We had to do it on Wii U. I guess you didn't have to, but it definitely helped the performance of the game to do the download packs for Xenoblade Chronicles X. There was download packs. They wanted you to download a certain, amount of storage or of the game to your hard drive, to your Switch's hard drive or your Wii U's hard drive. So even with Wii U, we knew this was a thing. So you have to have the game downloaded to the hard drive. This is not anything new. We understand that. But what we're saying is, why don't we have cards that allow us to do what this thing does? Give us cards that allow us to do what this does. Nobody's complaining about physical copies when it comes to these disc-based systems. Yes, we know there are updates and all that stuff that come to help the game run better, and day one isn't that fine. But at the very least, I have ownership of this game. I can take it, put it in my game console, and play it for the most part. We're giving up our ownership slowly but surely, and to the gamers, the YouTubers who are giving these excuses, you're not helping. You're becoming part of the problem. You're not helping the situation with these suggestions, because the problem isn't, oh, I just want to be reassured that I'm not going to have this game snatched from me at some point. First of all, how are they going to reassure any of this stuff? There's licenses with music and all kinds of stuff in games now, to individuals, to companies. How are you going to guarantee anything? You really can't. And if you could, it wouldn't be for that long anyway. The easiest solution is what you're already doing. The easiest solution isn't to guarantee people have access to the server to re-download their games. The easiest thing to do is to give us what you're already giving us on other consoles. This is a Switch 2 problem, specifically. We already know we can't run games off the disc, off the cart at this point. Not a surprise. What is why can't we do what these games are doing already? Give me the option to download my game to a hard drive off of the disc. If the drive for the Switch 2 cart is not fast enough, and we've seen comparisons and whatnot, so we can see that being a thing, especially for certain games. I don't know why is it for this game. I heard there's some ray tracing. I mean, this game looks really good, but I don't think it's doing anything insane that I have to that it just can't run off of anything else. Again, the whole game is not even on the disc-based versions of the game. So what is that about? We already know you're not running it off the disc. So why? It's just bullshit. And you guys, I'm not falling for it. I hope you guys don't fall for it either. So yeah, that's my take. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you agree? That we have a key card, we have a cart size problem, not a key card problem, not a anything else problem. Yes, Nintendo should have given us more storage if they knew this was going to be an issue, because they're making third parties look like the villain. And third parties, if you're using this as an excuse, you're making yourself look out to be the villain. Right now, it's just Nintendo, you know, but you're running with this excuse because it gives you an excuse that doesn't make any goddamn sense. It doesn't make any sense. Leave this excuse alone because we know better. So yeah, that's my video. Again, let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you agree with this take? Do you understand where I'm coming from? This is a cart problem, cart size problem. Give developers more cart sizes and we won't complain as much, because we see that smaller companies that have smaller games can get their games on cartridges and not have this key card. There's no damn reason whatsoever Bravely Default should be on a key card. You telling me Bravely Default can't run off the damn card? Come on. We know better. Of course, Bravely Default can run off the card. What is it? Bravely Default? Maybe I should call it that. Bravely Default HD can run off the damn key card. No problems. Why is that on a key card? So don't take these excuses. Okay, that's all I'm saying. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Thank you again for watching and listening, and see you fools next time. Peace out.